his name's Brett McBride. The number one part of his job, he's not afraid. When he was surrounded by sharks once and he took a nap. So maybe Carter's not afraid.
Maybe you have got to have seen this guy.
History has a show called Shark Wranglers, and then there's another one. I think it's called Shark Fighters. No, that's not the name.
Shark
but that would be amazing.
Fighters?
No, let's see. But it's about a shark fighters. But yeah, he said he's not afraid.
Robo-shocks.
Yeah, RoboShock, Real Steel. So they bring this guy's not afraid. So she hired him because he wouldn't ask questions because he's on parole. So she went cheap, and maybe he fluffed it. How much you know about sharks? A lot. Cool.
Yeah, she could have asked him some random questions because he just lied because she probably doesn't know much beyond what goes on in their brains. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta punch him. Have you seen Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Just punch him in the nose. That's a scene from the sequel of Tomb Raider. Just sock him. That's how we got the job.
Shark punch.
Well, the third suggestion it says that you should do before becoming a shark wrangler is to find a mentor currently in the business who can share invaluable knowledge and experience you would probably never attain on your own, which is a good advice for any career, basically. But who do we reckon was Carter's mentor?
Scoggins.
Did he have one? No. I refuse to follow that train of thought. No.
Maybe Carter's the guy that Quint couldn't keep working.
Yes. Okay, I love it because this is my thought as well.
Out of the four of us, who would be the best shark wrangler?
I'd be the best shark food.
I'm going to go with you, Mark, because I know that Amanda hasn't swum since she was 4. So,
not in the ocean, anyway.
No.
I'm terrified. I'd be horrible at this job. I mean, if I went down riding a great white shark and it turned terribly, that's not a terrible way to go down. What happened to Mark? Well, he caught a ride on a great white shark and got chomped. Worse ways.
A lot of questions that brings up. A lot of
What do you mean? What do you mean riding a shark? Like a horse?
He pulled that move that Carter does in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, man, I'd pull my back out doing that.
It had a license plate in its mouth, and he was just trying to help.
There's a movie called Bait where he surrounds himself with like chain link fences. That'd be me down there just being carried around by sharks.
Actually, I have a friend who did do free diving with tiger sharks, and she purposely took a picture and sent it to me because she knew that is like not something I'm okay with.
Wait, is this have a friend or had a friend dearly departed?
Yeah, no.
She survived.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Free diving sharks, no. No, thank you.
Well, Thomas Jane did do some swimming with sharks. It's on the extra features on the DVD. You see he actually went in the water with nothing but a shark-proof glove. Just one shark-proof glove. Not he had to pick which hand he was going to get near it, and his swimming shorts. And he did survive. You know, he's in the film. Some of that footage is in the film.
Or is he?
Yeah, Tom. Yes, he's a bionic stud muffin. He's not alive anymore. He's a robot.
So sort of related to this, but also kind of not because it's a different person. But Paul Walker actually was involved in a show that did tracking of sharks, and it was on Nat Geo. And I was watching it one day because shark stuff, watching it. And they get this shark up on the boat and they're tagging it. And this guy like hops over it to like kind of hold it in place, literally like sitting on the shark. And I'm like, is that Paul Walker? That's Paul Walker. Apparently, like, one of his hobbies was he was into marine biology and decided to, like, fund this expedition. And so, like I said, not really Deep Blue Sea related, but shark related and actor related. So
you've made my day. I need to see this now.
He didn't get it for the audition. What the hell?
I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go watch this.
So what role would Paul Walker be in Deep Blue Sea?
Oh, he'd be Carter Blake.
Wait, is he built enough for Carter Blake?
Yeah.
Okay. I see him more of a Scoggins.
A Scoggins?
Yeah.
He'd be a better Scoggins.
How dare you sully the name of Michael Rappaport?
Paul Walker would be better at his job than Michael Rappaport.
True. Well, yeah, we've established that Scoggins is terrible at his job. But you said these tools in the subroom are Carter's. They're not. They're Scoggins' tools. Scoggins is the engineer.
Oh, yeah.
He has the spanners.
I gotta ask y'all a question. So actually, Amanda, I'm gonna ask you a question. On a scale of A to F, how good was Thomas Jane's tinkering during that scene?
What
do you think?
C.
Oh, wow. How come?
It wasn't super great. It wasn't terrible. It was average.
Yeah, I guess no one would say that's Oscar-worthy tinkering.
That's a category I want to see.
I don't think so.
I think they need to give Oscars out for people who eat on screen, because I hate when they push around salad for 45 seconds and then they go to take a bite and then they talk and then they put it down.
So you'd give the award to the bird.
Yes. Great eating. That's the best
Or the
on-screen
sharks.
eating.
The problem is that Brad Pitt would win every year. And
Yes, he would.
In fact, he would have deserved it for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's the mac and cheese scene is delightful.
Wow, you just nailed that. He is. I wrote an article about how many calories he's consumed on screen. I forget how many that is. But
It needs updating. That was a few years ago, and he's like doubled that since then.
Yeah, I need to update that. But no, so see tinkering.
Yeah, it's mainly he's mainly like hanging the masks back up.
I was going to say he's putting things away. So less than tinkering, it's more like cleaning up. He's basically Goggins' janitor.
Well, I think he's getting the mask or the tank ready for
tools as opposed to sharks in this situation.
He's getting the gear ready for at the end when he goes swimming.
Wow, he's a tool wrangler.
Yeah. It sounds less impressive than Shark Wrangler.
Carter the tool man, Blake.
So what does a tool wrangler do? Well, there you go. Put tools away.
Sounds like it sounds.
So there's conversation between Carter and Russell. I feel like there's a lot of subtext going on, and I'm not entirely sure what they're talking about for a lot of it, other than just kind of dick measuring, it seems. Because, it starts off with a bit of small talk of, an Archimedes, you're wreck diving? I bet you're really good at it. I love Sam Jackson's delivery. I'm like, come on, I bet you're really good at it. And Carter just, it's fine, I guess. These two are from completely different worlds, and I love it. But it just breaks down and says, you're the man, right? The man's always got a file. It just immediately switches to, you've been to prison? What's going on? What did you do? And that's a real sudden switch in the tone that I've never been a big fan of this scene, if I'm honest with you. It's never sat well with me.
I think it's just to set up the tier, the wet lab, and to give you an eyeball on the where Sam Jackson's going to be eaten, gives you an eyeball on the submarine that falls later on, shows you where the wrenches are. I mean, every movie I need to know where wrenches are.
Okay.
Yes, you're getting the geography of the room there.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's, like you said, it's like they're getting in a pissing contest, but not really. It's just one of those, how macho are you? Well, how macho are you? Well, you're the rich guy. That doesn't play on the water here. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean.
Right. Well, they've already established this relationship back when they first met, when Russell helped Carter out of the water, and they had the sharks don't tend to go for you. They think you're a fat seal or a rich suit. They've already said these two are kind of butting heads immediately, and this is just doubling down on it where it's not necessary.
By the way, when you mentioned rich suit, you looked up the frosting thing for the bird. I looked up Samuel Jackson's sweater.
Oh, I love it. I love his outfit.
I tried to find it to buy. They're not available, but it is a brand, and it's an upscale brand, public school, New York, and it's, I don't know. I checked. They do have those crew neck sweaters up to $500, so, but they didn't have this one.
So first I get the Paul Walker knowledge dropped on me, and then I get this sweater knowledge. I could retire. This is a great day.
It's so clean and crisp, and it just he's unsullied completely in this scene, and it just gets so much worse later on. It's a shame he's not wearing this when all the action goes down later.
In the commentary, Rennie Harlan said that Sam Jackson thought he was just going to be wearing this sweet sweater and then playing golf in Mexico for most of the shoot, but then he didn't tell him that he was going to be soaked for the majority of it. That makes me so happy.
Have to put on the wetsuit. So you think that's Samuel Jackson's sweater when he was golfing, and he just wore it to the set?
Oh, yeah.
I think he was assigned it from the film and then took it golfing afterwards, and then took it home, and now it's his.
I think he borrowed it from Ronnie Cox.
Who was so dumbfounded he couldn't even speak.
That's right.
Couldn't stand up, just couldn't contribute at all.
A C on fiddling. I'm never going to watch that scene again now. I was going to give him about a B-.
But still, I think you can't argue. It's proper Steve McQueening, isn't it? It's just keeping your hands busy during the scene.
That's right. We got to watch him later on when people are monologuing to see what he does in the background. Is he cleaning stuff? Is he taking the people's eyes off of the main star?
He's always handling a gun or a harpoon.
Or a shark.
Wait, since he's Steve McQueening, is he jealous of Sam Jackson's sweater?
I mean, everyone is, aren't they? Look at it.
Yeah. Did he Great Escape it? Who wore the better turtleneck sweater? James Garner in Great Escape or Sam Jackson in Deep Blue Sea?
See, it's always going to be Great Escape for me with any question. Like, which film was the better Sharks? Great Escape. Just because I love Great Escape. And James Garner is, Sedgwick is my favourite character in the Great Escape. It's just that ridiculous Australian accent that he does.
What about y'all? Who has a better sweater?
Well, I don't know. There's no Scrounger on the Atlantica or whatever the name of the... What's the name of the place again?
Aquatica, yeah.
Aquatica. I knew there was a K in there somewhere, but I don't know. Between the two of them, I like the sweater that Samuel Jackson's wearing, but I think Garner wears it better in The Great Escape, The Great White Escape, The Great White Escape.
Great White Escape. Dun-dun.
I wasn't thinking of James Garner at all. I was thinking of a different character in The Great Escape.
What if they swap sweaters?
I was thinking of James Coburn.
And yes, he's got the ridiculous Australian accent.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Wait, isn't James Garner Canadian?
No, yeah, he was American or Canadian or something, yeah. He was part of the 4th of July crew.
Right, there you go.
So whenever you bring up Great Escape, I go Steve McQueen, and then James Coburn, and then the rest.
So on this show, Sharkmen, I'm going to call it Shark Fighters. It's the shark wrangler's job to guide the sharks onto the ship's platform, which lifts out of the ocean much like a giant cradle. Often he'll have to jump in the water with the predators, maneuvering them into position with his bare hands. Later, he places a towel over their eyes to calm them and puts tubes of water in their monstrous jaws to irrigate the gills. So that's what the shark wrangler does on Sharkmen. Imagine if Carter Blake busted that monologue out.
In reacting to Samuel Jackson's character and all the questioning, he just, outlines it. So what does a shark wrangler do? And he actually tells him, yeah, that would be fun.
While tinkering with a wrench.
Yes.
And then he tells the story of the Indianapolis. Starts sharing his scars.
So I like the theory that Quint was Carter's mentor. And, I've theorized in the past that if Jaws were to be set 20 years after this, then Carter would become Quint in the future. And I really like that visual.
Oh my gosh.
Or you could even, if you go with Carter being Quint's mentee, student, then I think that Carter would then blame Brody for Quint's death. No one else is on that boat. No one's seen what's going down. He knows that Brody and Hooper, they go out and Quint doesn't come back. So I reckon that Carter would blame Brody for his
You've got a better
dad.
plot for
Death.
Jaws the Revenge than they came up with.
Never seen
right.
it. Never seen it.
He gets a voodoo curse and he puts it on a great white. The great white goes and kills the son with a trap, by the way. Wonderful trap in Jaws the Revenge. And then swims. I did the math on that too. I figured out how far the shark swam during the entire course of that film. That's great, guys. That's the plot of Jaws the Revenge with banana boats.
I think this makes sense for why Carter is immediately at odds with Russell, because he sees Russell as a figure of authority, like Brody. And so just immediately, every authority figure he steps up against, he butts heads with, just off the bat, because he just blames them all for his mentor's death. And we know this is set in the same universe as Jaws because of the license plate in The Shark. So the clues are all there.
All right. Well, we're getting comparisons to Jaws. We're getting comparisons to The Great Escape. How come we're not getting comparisons to the most obvious film, Jay?
Kramer versus Kramer?
Jurassic Park?
It. Yeah. Yes, Jurassic Park.
Well, we've talked about it in the past. It's the same plot as Jurassic Park. Samuel Jackson doesn't survive that one as well. There's a scene in the kitchen. The monster's in the kitchen.
And Jurassic World kind of rips off Deep Blue Sea with the line about the genetic tampering, the really rich guy, the helicopter explosion, the rakish
giant shark eating the great white shark.
That's right. And then you have the shark, the tiger, the things eating the tiger shark, and then you have the rakish beefcake running around handling animals, doing crazy stuff with them.
You can practically hear Scoggins in a future scene saying you didn't stop to think whether you should. You just worked out whether you could about making the shark super intelligent. So yeah, it's Jurassic Park underwater with a bird in it.
But then it influenced Jurassic World.
Yes, it's all a circle. It's the circle of life.
And Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They were trying to cure Alzheimer's too. And then the apes got super smart.
And that had a window in it as well.
Whoa. And I love the scene in this movie when the shark says no.
That was a good scene. That was really good,
Yeah. Too bad it got deleted out of the movie.
So we